In the ancient seas, survival could end in a single second. Hidden beneath the shadows was one of the first true killers of the ocean. Before sharks ever ruled, Dunkleosteus was already king. Long before sharks ruled the oceans, another predator dominated the ancient seas. Its name was Dunkleosteus, one of the first apex predators in Earth's history. It lived nearly 380 million years ago during the Devonian period. Back then, the oceans were filled with strange armored fish and primitive life. But among them all, Dunkleosteus stood at the very top of the food chain. It had no teeth, only razor-sharp bone plates built for cutting. Its bite was powerful enough to crush armor, bone, and flesh in a single strike. It was an ambush hunter, waiting in silence before attacking with terrifying speed. Once it struck, very few creatures survived the attack. For millions of years, Dunkleosteus ruled the ancient seas, long before sharks rose to power. Dunkleosteus was built for power, not speed, relying on sudden bursts to catch its prey. In these ancient waters, even the smallest movement could mean death. Its armor gave it confidence, allowing it to move fearlessly through dangerous waters. At nearly 10 meters long, it was one of the largest predators of its time. Its jaws could close in milliseconds, faster than many predators alive today. Its feeding style was brutal, crushing prey whole with unstoppable force. Once fed, it returned to patrol its territory like an ancient king. But sometimes, its greatest rival was another Dunkleosteus. In the Devonian seas, survival meant facing even your own kind. These giants were not only hunters, but competitors in a brutal ancient world. Fossils suggest they may have fought each other for territory and food. When two apex predators met, the ocean itself became a battlefield. Their armor could withstand enormous force, but every strike carried deadly power. Strength often decided survival, and weakness meant death. This time, the stronger hunter remained king. Even victory came with scars in the unforgiving Devonian seas. Beyond the reefs, larger hunting grounds stretched into endless darkness. Here, Dunkleosteus hunted creatures even larger than before. But deep below, even greater dangers may have been waiting. Far below the shallow reefs, the ancient ocean became colder, darker, and far more dangerous. While low-frequency, even here, Dunkleosteus remained one of the ocean's most feared hunters. Its powerful senses allowed it to detect movement in the thick Devonian waters. Every hunt began with patience, waiting for the perfect chance to strike. It used the shadows of the ancient ocean as its greatest weapon. Then, without warning, the giant attacked with explosive force. Its bone blades could cut through armor that protected nearly every other creature. What Dunkleosteus could not swallow, the ocean itself would consume. With the hunt complete, the ancient king returned once again to its territory. For now, the armored king remained undefeated in the seas of the Devonian. But even the greatest hunters needed moments of rest between endless battles. Its body carried the scars of survival, proof of countless hunts and violent encounters. Yet hunger always returned, driving the ancient predator back into the open sea. As daylight faded, the ocean became even more dangerous. Under the cover of darkness, Dunkleosteus hunted with even greater advantage. Its attacks were sudden, brutal, and impossible to predict. Every kill fed not only the hunter, but the entire ecosystem around it. For millions of years, no creature challenged its dominance for long. But the world itself was changing in ways even the greatest predator could not control. And soon, the age of Dunkleosteus would come to an end, giving rise to a new era of hunters. Over time, the oceans began to change, and the balance of life started to shift. Food became harder to find as ecosystems across the Devonian seas collapsed. The great reefs that once supported life were beginning to disappear. Even the mighty armored king could feel the pressure of a dying ocean. As oxygen levels dropped, survival became harder for every creature in the sea. Still, it hunted until the very end, driven by instinct older than time itself. But the ocean that once made it powerful could no longer sustain its reign. For millions of years, Dunkleosteus had ruled as the first great monster of the seas. Then, with the Devonian extinction, its bloodline vanished forever. But its legacy remained, and from its fall, the age of sharks would begin. With Dunkleosteus gone, the ancient seas entered a new and uncertain age. Its disappearance left a gap at the top of the food chain. And from that void, new predators began to rise. These early sharks would evolve into the ocean hunters we know today. Over millions of years, the oceans would create even greater monsters. But none of them came first. That honor belonged to Dunkleosteus, the armored king, the bone-jawed hunter, the first true terror of the seas. And though it vanished hundreds of millions of years ago, the ocean still remembers its name.